So I've been hearing a lot more about solar panels lately, and I don't know if it's because the advertising is ramped up, and I've just been having more conversations about it, whether it's with other agents or whether it is with clients, as to what the value of solar panels is. Is it a good idea to install them on the house? Well, let's dig deeper into that right now. So you're considering whether it makes sense to install solar panels on your home. Obviously there are several pros and cons I'll go over, but let us start with looking at the payback period. The path is in the math. You want to calculate how much money it will cost you now and how much your savings will be over time to see if it does make sense for you to move forward with this. And of course, many solar systems are financed, so then you're looking at what is the monthly cost for the financing versus how much you are saving on your electric bill. Let's look at it though from the standpoint of you're paying for it up front. So let's say hypothetically your solar system cost you $20,000. Now you receive that tax credit of 26% or $5,200. So now your system only costs you $14,800. And if your electric bill was reduced by approximately $1,000 a year for this system, then it's going to take you 15 years for it to pay off the system, and you will not actually be seeing any benefit till that 16th year. Now they say on average most solar systems pay for themselves between 9 to 12 years. So it is obviously important to figure out, is this a home I plan on being in for a long time to come? Some of the pros to installing solar panels, some of these are obvious. You're going to save money on your electric bill. They say over the course of 20 years, you may save between $10,000 and $30,000 on your electric bill. There is the tax credit that I mentioned from the federal government. It can also help to stabilize your bill so that even if you're still paying some electric bill, the solar power helps to reduce it and make it more affordable and more planning for it. And the solar systems, as opposed to other kind of energy saving systems such as wind power, have less maintenance because they are not an active system like a windmill, which is actually cranking a turbine that will deteriorate over time. Not to say these won't deteriorate, but they don't have any moving parts with them. Now the part that I would be concerned about is if you're using a battery backup, those systems only have a set amount of time. There's also something called net metering, where some of the power that you get from the system, if you have excess, can actually turn your meter back, so you can sell it back to the power company. And if you're creating enough excess, you can in some instances actually set it up where you get a check from the power company. There can be some tax exemptions. In fact, 30 localities in Virginia are allowing a tax exemption for the increased value that theoretically the panels might add to your house. Now some of the cons. In my opinion, at this moment in time, at least here in Hampton Roads where I live, I do not see enough houses with solar panel that I feel it really adds value to the house, because people are not used to it. So if somebody sees a house with solar panels and an identical one next door without solar panels, I do not believe they're going to spend hardly anything more to buy the house with solar panels. And again, this will be a very personal opinion. I just don't believe it's popular enough to believe that it will truly add value to the house. And if you are financing it, then it becomes an extra stigma on the house, because the financing is basically another mortgage on the house that has to be dealt with at the time of sale. Now you may be able to pass it on to the new buyer to where they take over the payments of the financing, but the issue is you have to have a buyer who's open-minded to the advantages of solar So that is narrowing your field of buyers when you go to place your house on the market, which is not what you want to do. You want to have a house that's presented to the widest amount of buyers instead of narrowing the range down, because that's how you're going to get the most for your house. Other obvious disadvantages of solar is it doesn't work at night. It doesn't work when there's storms. So, and then you buy the system, you pay for it in full, but you cannot necessarily take it with you. Once you buy it, it's attached to that house. In order to separate it from the house, then you now have a roof that's got holes in it where the system was attached. And the final issue is the roof. If you're installing a new solar system, it should not be installed over an old roof, because it is installed directly over the roof, and to replace the roof, you've got to tear off the old roof and install new shingles. So it doesn't make sense to install a solar system that may last 20 years over a roof that's only got 5 years left in it. So in conclusion, my personal opinion of installing solar panels in Hampton Roads is it rarely makes sense unless you are in a house that you know for a fact you will be in for the next 20 years. And most people are not in that situation, so it doesn't add enough value that it would make sense to purchase a system nor to finance a system, at least at this point in time.